and he was like, I have ice cream at home.
Ooh, that's like what kidnappers say.
Oh, I was like, that sounds good.
Ellie's like nodding. Yeah.
So 2 out of 3 think it's a great idea.
2 out of 3 women will respond well to I have ice cream at home. We're your hosts, Tara, Nora, and Allie, and you're listening to Bad Advice Only.
We're just 3 New York City rats talking about scurrying around the Big Apple. Here, we make the New York City mistakes so you don't have to.
We're begging you. Leave us a review and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Bad Advice Only NYC. We release new episodes every Monday, so stay tuned, rats.
I had like 6 succulents, and I named them all Tillicum after the killer whale that ate his trainers.
When did you have these succulents?
When she lived in student housing in New York.
Yeah. Every succulent I bought, and then it would die, I'd name the next one.
After Tillicum?
I just really liked Tillicum.
I think that killer whales are misunderstood.
You should watch Blackfish.
Their name is Killer Whale.
Because they kill things.
Have you seen Blackfish?
I've heard of it.
Can you give me an overview? Because I'm not going to watch it.
Okay,
Fish
overview.
is an aquarium. Fish escapes aquarium.
Nope.
Eats seals.
That's not right. No. Okay, spin-off podcast idea. Allie tells facts about animals.
I love that idea.
So Tillicum was a killer whale who was at SeaWorld, and there was a big cover-up because he kept killing and eating his trainers, and he killed like 4 different trainers, and they kept shipping him to different SeaWorlds, and then eventually
why
they
was he
killed
killing
him.
his trainers?
Because he was lonely, because he was meant to be a pack animal.
We understand he's misunderstood, but I don't care how lonely you are, you don't kill people. Like 4 people, that's like, if this whale was a human,
He's a serial killer
he's
whale.
a fucking serial killer, and everybody would be like, get mental help.
He did need mental help, and they didn't help him. They harpooned him. I don't know if that's true, but he did die.
My God. Is Tillicum a boy?
Yes, he was a little boy whale. You think a woman whale was out serial
Yes.
killing? Tillicum was a man.
I mean, his name is Tillicum.
It sounds like a female
If it was a
name
woman,
to
it'd
me.
be Tilly Squirt.
Tilly
so
Clit.
Anyway, speaking of coming and squirting, I thought we could talk about like worst dates that we've ever been on in New York City because
Is it your episode?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be rude. I just genuinely didn't know.
Right?
I thought I was taking over this one.
Oh, because you didn't have an episode prepared?
Okay, I think it's Allie's episode.
It was originally Allie's, yeah.
You can take it over.
No, I think we should talk about just dating in New York, not worst dates.
Well, I don't think any of our dates are good.
Yeah, I think that it's all the same.
But I just feel like so many podcasts talk about worst
Well,
dates.
that's what I was going to say is like all the podcasts do talk about worst dates. I've been listening to them since I'm recently single and like trying to make myself feel better, but they're not relatable.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Like all these
relatable.
people are like, oh, like this millionaire took me out on a date and like then he was like, I want to marry you. Like
I have never dated a millionaire.
All right, so anyways, dating in New York. I've done it.
you've done it a lot.
I've done it.
Who has dated the most in New York?
For sure
You.
you.
Dumb bitch.
But I also don't know what you classify as a date, so
Yeah, what counts as a date?
I
Penetration?
you said it
I
first.
meet another person or two. I guess that's a date.
Yeah, if you have a threesome, does that classify as 2 dates in one or?
I thought we were trying to be relatable. I don't think Tara's threesome is relatable.
A lot of people have threesomes.
I would say out of the 3 people sitting in this room, 2 of them have threesomes.
Yeah.
So that's the majority rules.
When I moved to New York, both of y'all were in relationships.
I was
you had
barely.
just started dating Rave Daddy the first round.
No.
No.
Oh,
Really?
First
Yes.
round?
Yes.
Round 1.
Y'all like just started dating, and then
cute.
like a month later he ghosted you.
Cute.
So yeah, I've definitely done the most dating. I moved here fresh out of a 4.5-year relationship. I had never been on dating apps.
You moved straight from the farms in Ohio.
I lived in the Midwest.
Kentucky, Ohio.
We call those the dark years.
They
for
were
Tara.
You had
dark
scabies.
years for me. But yeah, I definitely had never been on an app before. You two showed me what Hinge was and a couple other apps, and I went to town.
She sure did.
But yeah, I was just alone. Nora, it was like,
I was just alone. No intentional dating.
this
here.
was Nora's pitch on why I should move to New York City. We're both single. We'll have so much fun.
We did end up both single.
Why do you always false advertise things?
The minute I moved here, you were like, so I'm dating someone. And then Allie started dating someone, and the guy I was kind of into couldn't figure out his life. Kidneys.
Can we just call him kidneys?
Kidneys.
Should we call him kidney failure?
Kidney failure. Kidney failure, boyfriend failure, all of it. So, like, I just go ham on the dating scene, and I really don't understand the concept of, like, how to commute around town. So I was living on the Upper West Side in Urinal West at the time, but taking hour 15 train rides to Brooklyn for a drink.
I don't know why you do that. I wouldn't go to Brooklyn any old time.
I didn't know.
You thought an appropriate travel time for a date was an hour 15?
Anything that requires more than one train, no.
Yeah, it's a no.
Yeah, I had to take the 123 or the ACE and then transfer.
To be fair, Tara's current boyfriend lives in Brooklyn, so
She's still doing
she's
that.
still doing
Still
it
doing the
5
commute.
years later.
5 years later, still commuting to Brooklyn for my man's. I don't know. What do you want to know about dating? What are the questions that people would
it's
have?
not like, I mean, what do the people have?
What do people want to know about dating in New York?
I have only ever dated in New York because I didn't date. I moved to New York when I was 21, and I like had a long-term boyfriend before that, so I never dated. I never dated outside of New York, so I always thought it was so weird when my friends like in Texas would say, "Oh, he picked me up for the date," and they get in their car. That is so fucking scary to me.
I have never had a man pick me up from like a place to take me on a date except for one, and it was the guy that picked me up from my Brazilian jiu-jitsu class.
Oh, there's a
That's the
story.
only
I have
time.
no idea who this is, but this is when you were wearing a gi.
Yeah,
she was
so this
sweating.
is to circle back on the gi thing. The gi, just for everybody that's listening, it's the sweatsuit that you wear while you're in Brazilian jiu-jitsu class, like rolling around. It's like a 5-pound sweatsuit.
It's finally been answered. All of our listeners.
10 episodes
I
later.
still have it. It's in my
Why
closet
did
right
Allie
now.
have-
This guy was not from the U.S. He must have been from like the
my
Netherlands
favorite.
or something. Like I remember him
not
being
so much.
very foreign. And I know this was a second date, but I don't remember the first date. Like we must have just had like a bad time because I don't remember anything about this date. Like, and I remember people I've gone on one date with and then blocked. Like, I don't remember this man, but I know it was a second date.
Wait, real
because
quick. You block all of your dates
the ones I don't like.
every time?
I used to, yeah. My block list is like about 50 people.
Our old boss saw it and he did not like
He
it.
was so mad. I thought he was going to fire me. He was like, why wouldn't you just have a conversation with these people and tell them you're not interested?
he
He
makes
He's
a good
married.
point.
He doesn't get it.
doesn't get it.
Doesn't get it. Okay.
So you're on
I
a
have an avoidant personality.
Block them.
Anyway, definitely getting my boyfriend on this podcast.
You will find the love of your life
But
either in
so I sweat a lot, as most people know. When I work out, I like abnormally sweat, like more than the average human.
It's weird because it's the only time you sweat. It's not like you have
Yeah,
a
I'm
She's
not
not a
sweaty
sweaty
person.
person, but
Yeah.
when she works out, there is a puddle under her. It is very disturbing.
It's like I have a fat heart.
you know, like slob kebab, the roommate
Are
that
you comparing
leaves.
me to slob kebab?
No, just give me a second. I'll get there.
That's Tara's roommate who was talked about in
The terrorist.
episode
3, 4,
4.
5.
8.
It's housing part 2.
Housing part 2. Slob kebab. I wish we called him that.
Yeah, we
then.
kind of forgot to call him what we actually call him.
We
which
actually
is
do call him slob kebab, but he was identified as a terrorist
Yeah,
in
we
that
went
episode.
with terrorist that episode.
Yeah, but no, so like slob kebab and many others, you know they're just constantly a little damp from sweat. You're not that way. You never sweat
Yeah, you don't
unless you're working
Yeah,
out.
no.
So
I
you're
know.
working out at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
But so it's extra bad because it's heated and it's an hour and we in a
Like hot
sweatsuit,
yoga,
like,
but hot
hot
jujitsu.
rolling. Yeah, you're like basically just wrestling for like an hour. Next to like 260-pound men. And so this guy's like, "Oh, I'll just pick you up at this time." And I was like, "Well, I'm just getting out of Brazilian jiu-jitsu then. Like I need a shower. Can we push it back?" And he's like, "No, like it'll be fine." I'm like, "I don't think you understand. Like I cannot leave like this place and then meet you on a date. Like that's like, unacceptable." And he was like, no, like it's fine. And this place didn't have showers. It's not like a cute gym. It was like a pad on like in a WeWork with like a curtain to change into. Like it was nasty.
They rented a WeWork.
Yeah, seriously. I was like in an office building. Like I opened a door. It like looked like I was going into a dentist office, and it would just be like of one lonely desk to check you in, and then just pads and people rolling around, and like the dressing room. You had to walk through people like actively wrestling each other to get into the dressing room to change. It was like
tasty.
very small. Anyway, so I somehow agree. I'm like, if this man's like really serious about this, like it's kind of on him, you know?
Yeah.
And then he comes and picks me up, and I'm soaked, like sweating, and he like gives me a kiss on the forehead, and he's just like, "Oh, you
Ew.
did have time to shower."
Because our hair was
My
soaking
hair was
wet.
so wet from sweat, and I said, "Yep."
Yep, sure did.
Oh.
And then we carried on the rest of the night. I never saw him again.
Did you hook up?
We like made out in Central Park.
Did you smell?
Oh, I'm sure. There's no way I didn't. I also like the optics of this night don't make any sense, because if I did go from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I had that massive, like, stupid blue duffel bag that I used to carry around everywhere. Remember that thing?
It's a giant duffel bag. It weighed like 100 pounds.
The
If you
blue
brought
one?
that on a
I
date,
must have. I don't
that's
know where I would have
so
left it. Like, I wouldn't have
funny.
left it there at the
The
gym.
blue one that you used to fly with too.
Yeah. Maybe I'm the worst date.
Yeah, you're a pretty
well,
bad. That's a bad date on your part.
And like, didn't you used to go on coffee dates and then just trap them in your apartment for 3 days?
She
It's
went
not
on
my apartment. I go to theirs.
She went on one coffee date and then she
All
was
right,
like,
all right.
"Can I not tell this one?" It's
All
so.
right.
Wait, I can't she
She
tell this?
went on one coffee
All
date.
right.
She was like,
No.
Wait,
No.
is it someone we know?
No, this makes me look bad.
Should I tell? I don't know if I can tell the story
I'm
about
not trying to be the center of the worst dates podcast.
"It's not you being a bad date. It's funny."
the first date I went on in New York from an app. I slept over and he ate my ass, and I'd never had that happen to me before.
And you were embarrassed about fucking someone after a coffee date.
My sister listens to this.
I don't know who listens that's connected to me.
It was like, I have no one in my life. I have nothing to lose. So someone ate your little
You poop hole?
your tuchus?
I don't know. Should I tell an ass eating story?
I don't know, what is it?
Okay, so he looked, oh my God, he was so hot. So I matched with this guy. It's my first New York City date. He owns his apartment in the West Village.
Give me the demographics. What does he look like?
He looked like Orlando Bloom.
Oh, I
That's
remember
not your
this
type.
guy. He looked like a pretty janky Orlando Bloom.
He was
listener.
so fine. He was a lawyer. His mom died and he inherited her apartment.
Wow.
I was
And it
laughing when you
was
said that. I just want to
green
clarify. I'm not laughing at the
flag.
death.
Green flag,
Because
dead
one,
mom.
you get the apartment. Two, no
mother-in-law.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's actually a really gross story. So I'd never had my butt chewed on. Whatever.
Chewed on? I too have never
Not
had
a fucking Tootsie Roll.
chewed on.
Numbed.
Ew.
Okay, no, it's kind of gross. So
Yeah.
oh, you know where we went, guys? We went to Wolfie and Nell.
Oh my God, that's
place
not a
where
good
all
date
terrors
spot.
happen.
So we go to there, we have a couple drinks, and this drunk girl tries to steal my coat. It's a whole thing. I go back home with him. We obviously hook up. And then in the morning, he...
Chewed on her butthole.
We can cut that.
No.
No, I think we should cut it. But, so anyways, yeah, we hook up. In the morning, we hook up again, and he brings up the fact that he really likes to eat ass. And I was younger. I just moved to New York City, and I was like, I've never done that before. And he was like, oh, can I then? And I was like, I guess if that's really what you want to do at 7 a.m.
Oh.
before I leave for my walk of shame. And he does. And it was good. It was fine, whatever. But the problem was, and I really don't know if y'all want to know this part of the story.
Ask
So
for it, but-
scared.
He gets up, we're getting up, getting dressed, and I finally make eye contact with him because, I was a little embarrassed after the ass eating. And he has boogers all over his nose, guys.
Boogers.
Boogers.
What do
He
you-
like,
Oh God, my throat.
They were poop boogers?
no, his own boogers. Like his nose got
Were
mushed
there
around.
boogers in your asshole?
I'm so worried that there were. I went home and Nora can't. Nora's dying. I can't hear this. Get a picture of her doing this.
Hear this. I'm getting physically ill from this description. I can't. I'm so grossed out.
out too. I obviously wouldn't kiss him goodbye.
I hate it.
I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy the boogers.
Stop saying it.
Do you know how many times she's gonna have to listen to this, Dad?
I can't edit this one. I did not like it.
Anyway, I was thinking more on the lines of like bad dates.
Oh, that was a great date.
My
Should have
worst
married
date
him.
didn't have anything to do with ass boogers.
Oh, are there sugar boogers involved?
Stop.
Sugar?
Nora, that's cocaine.
I
What the
can't.
fuck?
I know, but the boogers now, I'll never unhear it.
Sugar? Okay, so my worst date was, I mean, I've had a lot of them, but the one that sticks out the most is, I guess it must have been 2018. And I had matched on one of the apps with some guy that like we worked with. We didn't know him, but like he worked at our company.
On Raya or...
I've been on the wait list for Raya for like 6 years, and I'm gonna stay that way.
I just want our listeners to know we can't get on Raya. Like, I haven't even tried.
Can't get on
I would
Raya.
never try
We're hinge
people
gals,
run it.
just
I
like
am.
you.
the free app.
The free app, I don't pay for it.
Tara paid for it once. She got real desperate.
Yeah, I was going through it. I paid for 1 month of Hinge.
Was it
and-
worth it?
No.
You can filter by height, so...
Yeah, that's the only reason I
Well,
paid for it, really.
I matched
You
with
don't
this
get
guy-
better quality.
I matched with this guy, I don't know, on like Bumble or something. And he was like fine. And we met at the like local watering hole, the bar near work. And this place is like not a date spot because everybody in the company goes there. And we went at like 5. We went so early. And I remember it was like still happy hour prices. And so I got like a vodka water or something like I normally do. And this guy cannot make a decision to save his life. He's like,
To order a drink?
he's like,
That's a big turn off.
I don't know. And I was like, I don't get it. Like, what? And then the waitress comes over and he's like, can I get this drink, but with the happy hour, like, alcohol? And I was like, oh, shit. Like, this is going to be the cheapest date that I've, like, ever been on, which is, like, fine. But, like, then I really had low standards. So, like, to be, like, surprised was really an issue. And so we have one drink and he's basically trying to get, like, he was not a full-time employee at the time, and he was trying to figure out how to become a full-time employee.
Oh my
and because I worked in like the HR side of things, he started asking me questions
No.
about how.
That's
and I was
not
like,
a good
so
date
was
topic.
this like a job interview for you? Or you,
Networking.
networking? I don't understand.
Is this
So
romantic or work? Or is it both?
I was completely turned off. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, like checked out of the conversation. The waitress comes to order a second drink, which I feel like in New York it's standard. You 2 drinks if you
Two
like
drink
have
minimum.
a okay time.
You can't have one drink. One drink's
Yeah,
fucking rude.
it's like
Oh,
a
really?
freak move to have one drink.
It's very rude.
I've never made it less than 3.
Right. So 2.
But
Like if somebody ordered you one drink and then was like, nope,
And
we're
then you
good.
were like, no,
The
we're
worst
good.
part
I
was,
would love that.
It wasn't even nope, we're good because we weren't having a good time, which I would have preferred. It was nope, we'll have no more drinks because we've finished out the happy hour deals. Like he didn't want to pay for it.
That's so rude.
So I was like, okay. So we start leaving and it's like broad daylight because we fucking left so early. We had one drink.
5:15.
And so we're like walking downtown, and I don't know where I lived, but I wasn't downtown. Like we start walking downtown, and this guy he was homeless comes up, cracked out of his mind. He's missing like 20
I thought you
teeth.
meant your date.
No, this guy on the sidewalk comes up, and he's missing literally all of his teeth.
Oh.
And he's like, "Hello, can you give me some money? I need money for Taekwondo classes." And my date engages, and he's
No.
like, "Why?"
Weird move.
Weird follow up. Most
Did
people
he
just say, "No, I don't have any money."
Did he just move to New York?
I don't know.
Jesus.
He
And
also
he's like,
genuinely didn't have any money. He couldn't even afford a date. should
right.
he?
And then he's like, the cracked out guy is like, "Well, aliens came down and kidnapped
No.
my whole family, and I need to go train Taekwondo so I can go fight the aliens."
There is a tickle in the back of my brain, and I feel as I've
Like you know this
maybe
person,
heard
like,
this
you
story.
hooked up with this guy. Oh,
I may have hooked up with him before.
I'm
Maybe
kidding.
Allie
No, I
told you.
think
You're joking.
So I'm like, oh shit, like obviously this guy is either like really fucked up on drugs or this is like the most creative story I've ever heard.
Your date or the hobo?
The
Oh, I
homeless
can't say.
guy.
Homeless man.
And my date turns to him and he goes, "Oh, well, actually, she knows Brazilian jiu-jitsu. She can give you some lessons."
No.
And I'm like,
Now you must engage.
what? Like, I've kept walking this whole time. Like, was like, I'm not interested.
I would have started running.
I was so pissed. I was like, and then I walked straight ahead. And I was like huffing and puffing because I was so mad. And then this guy like follows me. And then I was like, look, I'm going to go. And like I saw an entrance for a subway, like the ACE Uptown. And I was like, I just got to get on the subway. Like
Just
I
get
don't,
on
I don't
any
live
train.
uptown
Like, this is
either.
me.
But I was like, see you later. We do a side hug. I run down the stairs. I call Nora. And then I met her
And
at
then she
Trailer
came
Park.
right back up. I was
Yeah.
at a bar
I had to
nearby.
wait like 10
I have
minutes
done
for her to
that
leave.
so many times where I say my goodbyes at a stop, just stand downstairs, wait for a while, then go right back upstairs to either date number 2 or to meet up with you 2.
Yeah.
Okay, did he get full time?
I don't know. I never followed up on him. I have such little interest in his life.
Yeah, I don't know why you would engage with a homeless person.
Well, and
And
here's
that's
the thing.
coming from
it's
me.
fine if you would want to engage with a homeless person, but if I'm not interested in engaging, don't be like, oh, she'll
Right.
teach you how to grapple.
It's some male privilege to just be like, oh, this girl would love to chat with a cracked out like stranger on the street.
Yeah, what?
Nope. Fun story at my first job. I used to have a little nickname, and I
Go
don't.
on.
The word is, I think, like a slur. So I don't know if I should say it.
What is it?
Hobo. Is that
No.
a slur?
Why was that your nickname?
No. My nickname wasn't hobo.
It was hobo fucker.
My nickname was hobo fucker.
How did
That's offensive.
And I don't know why. I didn't.
You and the hobos.
I didn't have sex with any homeless people, but for some reason, like that stuck.
Something happened, Nora, for you
No,
to
I
get
really
that.
don't remember. Well, we can pull some old colleagues. Nothing happened, but they every time I would like run
including
in-
your boss?
Yes, my boss, everyone at the company called me hobo
Nora,
fucker.
you must have fucked a hobo.
No, I didn't. I didn't.
How do you go from high school as sex farter?
You
To
didn't have
hobo
another
fucker.
job. We've talked about this. This was your first job.
Yeah.
Graduated psychology.
Yeah,
4.0.
right. Hobo
You
fucker.
must have fucked a hobo.
I did not fuck a hobo. I don't know why, but every time it was like a running joke in the office. If I was like running
So
in late,
funny.
people would be like, "Oh, like out fucking hobos again."
What would you say? Yes.
I would just kind of like laugh because I didn't know that was like sexual harassment in the office at the time. I was just like, haha.
Yeah, sucked him real good.
I'm like, yeah, sure did.
Threw him a penny.
I did the same thing in high school when they called me sex farter. I'd be like, toot toot.
There's something going on that you're repressing for these to all
I
be
also
nicknames.
didn't fart during sex.
Like these nicknames
Well,
are
you weren't
vicious.
having sex in high school, virgin.
I wasn't even having sex and they called me sex farter. Like, I wish.
I wish I was getting laid.
I wish I had some sex to fart during.
Well, that's like, I think you should tell your story of when you turned like 30 and you went out.
Oh.
You know what, guys?
You're 33 now, so I
I'm
wonder what he'd
33
say.
now, but listen, I wasn't even turning 30. This guy is such a dick. This was a pretty short date. I lived on the Upper West Side. He lived on the Upper East Side. And for those who don't live in New York, it's not the easiest to get across town. There's a bus, or you can walk. I didn't know about the bus back then, so I walked across Central
I knew
Park.
you were going to walk. I was about to ask you if this was one of the stories where you walk at like 4 a.m.
Well, luckily, no, because it was such a short date.
Didn't he
But
take you to tea?
yeah, he took me to a bar.
That happened at T?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so he takes me to a bar. He obviously didn't look up the bar, anything beforehand. No plans were made, really. He just picked a bar, and later I find out that it's like the bar under his apartment, which, you know,
So rude.
It's so rude, but I also do that when I know I'm going to get laid or want to get laid. I make it really easy.
That's nice. That's like a compliment to you.
Yeah.
It's good when you do it, bad when boys do it.
But yeah, exactly. Women do this if you feel safe, and
But don't tell them that you live
Don't
right
tell
upstairs
them.
until the date goes well, because I did
Yeah.
that once, and then I forgot I did that. And then I was like, well, I'm this way. And he was like, don't you live upstairs? And I was like, fuck.
how did you
I said,
recover?
yep, and I went home.
You asshole.
Never talked to him again.
Yeah, this guy, we meet up, and you know how it is on a first date. You're kind of just like down for whatever, trying to be cool girl. And we get to the bar, say hi, go inside, stand at the bar to order our drinks, and there's a comedy show going on in the background. And I was like, oh, fun. And the guy goes, oh my God, this is going to be so annoying. It's just like, what a downer. So then I order a beer, he goes, "Oh, you're drinking," and I was like, "Well, we're at a bar with the comedy show," and he goes, "Yeah, but it's whatever night, like Wednesday night."
Okay.
And I was like, "Uh-huh," and he was like, "Do you all have tea?" And for whatever reason, this fucking bar has tea. So I'm on a tea date now.
Did you ask why he wasn't drinking?
Yeah, he said he doesn't drink on weeknights and he doesn't like to waste calories.
Was he 5?
Well, then why did he take you to a bar?
Right. Like, be more creative.
Yeah. Did you say hockey?
No, coffee date.
Oh. Well, we're not allowed to tell the coffee date story. For some reason, that's off limits.
After my buckets.
Yeah.
I mean, you offered that proactively.
I was trying to help you out.
She took one for the team.
Noted.
So yeah, we sit down. We barely have started the "Who are you?" conversations, and he is. I'm not even halfway through my beer, and he was like, I think my birthday was coming up, and he was like, "Oh, how old are you turning?" She always yawns during my stories, guys.
It's legit. Every time you start a story, she starts yawning.
I don't know what to think about that. So anyways, he's like, "Oh, your birthday's coming up. How old are you turning?" And I was like, "Oh, I'll be 29." And I was so excited. I'm excited for my birthday. He kind of does like a drawback. He like brings he like goes, "Huh?" and makes this weird face, like a confused face. And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Aren't you worried?" And I go, "About my birthday?" And he was like, "You're almost 30." And I was like,
How old was he?
Like 33, 34, fucking men. So anyways, yeah, he's like, "Aren't you so scared about turning 30? And I was like, "Oh my God, no. Every year has gotten significantly better in my life. I'm having so much fun. I just moved to this city. Everything's great. What are you talking about?" And he was like, "But men aren't going to want to date you." And so at this point, I think he's joking. So I'm laughing and I'm like, "Yeah, right, because I'm so old." And he was like, "Your stock is literally plummeting." And I realized he's not joking.
Literally, what are you supposed to say to that?
Yeah, well,
Buy low.
Yeah.
Buy low, baby.
Yeah, so that was one of my weird dates. It didn't go far from there. I wrapped that up really quickly. When we walked outside, he offered to take me home and smoke me out. And
Smoke you out?
yeah, it was like as if it was like the night.
You on a pit, like a
That's
spit?
like when you smoke weed together, Allie.
Yeah.
You
That sounds
fucking
nasty.
princess.
Smoke you out?
Did Allie go to college or what?
That's
Like in high
slang. I don't. That's
in
the
high
South. That's the South.
I mean, it definitely.
coming out.
No,
You're
it's
Southern.
not.
Oh, you think
No,
it's a
it's
Southern expression?
It's
Yeah, I've
definitely
never heard
not.
that before in my life.
Yeah, no, it's old. It's definitely
Yeah, it's a little older.
It's a little outdated,
Like, I'll
but
smoke
that's
you out.
also it was a
It's made me
6-year-old
think of, like, a
story.
smoked salmon.
Well, it was weed, and then I walked back through Central Park at 8 p.m.
Hi.
Didn't get murdered yet.
One of these days. I stand by what we said in the other cast.
I did walk through Central Park at like 4 a.m. I did walk home. It wasn't a date. I got drunk at a bar and hooked up with this guy. And the reason I hooked up with him was because I was playing pool and we were like kind of flirting back and forth while he was having a drink near the pool table. And he was like, "I have ice cream at home."
Ooh, what?
And
That's like what kidnappers say.
Oh, I was like, that sounds good.
Allie's like nodding. Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 out of 3 think it's a great idea.
2 out of 3 women will respond well to "I have ice cream at home."
I literally grabbed my backpack. Actually, I was so drunk I thought I lost my backpack. Went to his place. We kind of hooked up. His dick wouldn't work really.
Oh, dick don't work.
Dick no work.
Dick no work. Tara got ice cream.
So there was ice cream.
Yeah, he wasn't lying. He wasn't tricking me. But then, yeah, it was like 4 a.m. I couldn't sleep. I wasn't getting any. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to get out of here now.
As always, thanks for listening. If you're interested in even more bad advice, scurry on over to Instagram and TikTok at Bad Advice Only NYC. We're begging you. Download and rate the show and leave us a review. Talk to you next Monday.
Stay tuned, rats.